Three human beings once traveled at 39,897 kilometers an hour. That is not a typo. It is the fastest any person has ever moved, and it happened more than 50 years ago. Hold that number, because for almost the entire story of our species, the fastest a human could possibly travel was the speed of a galloping horse, and that limit did not move for 5,000 years. Then, in the blink of an eye, it did. This is the story of the speed of travel. This is the long series. To see it, we need just one line. The top speed a human being could actually reach, plotted across history. And for almost all of that history, the line is flat. Dead flat. From the moment we first climbed onto a horse, somewhere around 3000 BC, the ceiling was set. A galloping horse can hit perhaps 50 or 60 kilometers an hour in short bursts. Over a real journey, with rest, you were lucky to average 15. That was it. The absolute speed limit of a human life. And here is the part that is genuinely hard to feel. That limit held for 5,000 years. Julius Caesar, marching on Rome, could travel no faster than a messenger of ancient Egypt, 2,000 years before him. Napoleon, crossing Europe 18 centuries after Caesar, moved at the very same speed. An emperor, a general, a king. None of them, however rich or powerful, could outrun a horse. For 200 generations, the fastest thing in any human life had a heartbeat. At sea, it was often worse. A sailing ship rode the wind, not muscle, and the wind is fickle. Crossing the Atlantic could take 6 weeks or 3 months, depending on the sky. For a soldier, a letter, or a piece of news to reach the far side of the world, you waited on animals and weather. Distance was not measured in kilometers. It was measured in days, and sometimes in lives. Then, in 1830, the line finally twitches. George Stephenson's rocket on the new railway between Liverpool and Manchester reached about 48 kilometers an hour. Look closely. That is almost exactly the speed of a galloping horse. Humans had not yet beaten the animal, but this was different in a way that changed everything. The horse tired. The rocket did not. It could hold that speed hour after hour. And then, unlike any animal, it could go faster. Some passengers genuinely feared the body could not survive 30 miles an hour. They were wrong, and the line began to climb. Once the ceiling cracked, it shattered. By 1900, express trains ran at 130 kilometers an hour, already more than double any horse. And railways did not just move people faster, they redrew the world. Towns set their clocks to the same time for the first time in history, because the timetable demanded it. After 5,000 still years, distance was suddenly shrinking, and everyone could feel it. But the ground was only the beginning. In 1903, the Wright brothers left it entirely, at the pace of a brisk walk. Watch how little that slow start matters. Within 40 years, aircraft had gone from that first hop to closing on the speed of sound itself. And in 1947, Chuck Yeager, in a rocket plane, punched straight through it, about 1,080 kilometers an hour, faster than sound can travel. The speed limit a horse had set was now being beaten 20 times over. And then we left the planet altogether. In 1961, Yuri Gagarin orbited the Earth at around 28,000 kilometers an hour. And in 1969, the crew of Apollo 10, falling back toward Earth from the Moon, hit 39,897 kilometers an hour, the number we started with, and a record no human has broken since. Sit with the whole line for a moment. A ceiling that did not move for 5,000 years was, in about 140, shattered nearly 1,000 times over. But here, the story turns, and it is the twist we keep finding in these numbers. Progress is not a law of nature. Look at the speed you can actually buy a ticket for. In 1976, Concorde carried ordinary passengers across the Atlantic at 2,180 kilometers an hour, twice the speed of sound. And then, in 2003, it was retired. Today, The airliner you board cruises at about 900 kilometers an hour, slower than your grandparents could fly. For the ordinary traveler, for the first time in 2 centuries, the line has bent back down. So the next time a delayed flight tests your patience, remember the horse. For 5,000 years, no human alive could move faster than that animal. Not Caesar, not Napoleon, not anyone. Then, in a handful of generations, we went from a galloping horse to falling home from the moon and, for a brief moment, sold tickets to fly faster than sound. Read the whole line. Not a slow climb, but a wall we hit, then vaulted, and are still learning how to climb again. We've measured wages, bread, life, work, shelter, light, and now the speed of the journey itself. Next time, the price of that journey, what it actually costs to cross the world, and how that collapsed too. This is the Long Series. Subscribe, and we'll keep reading the long lines together